What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Nerd Show. Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends HasLab Galactus figure. So this is the HasLab, so they work kind of like a Kickstarter. So they needed so many figures bought to be able to fund this thing. And of course, we just had to get it because it's Galactus. So he's a big giant character, so getting a giant version of Galactus for the Marvel Legends is really cool. So we just had to have it. Of course, I do have a lot of issues with this figure. Nothing like directly with this figure. It's just dealing with this figure, trying to do this video. So I'm having a lot of complications doing this, but hopefully we'll get through it. But we have Galactus's box here, which looks really cool. So we have Galactus, of course, his name at the top, the Marvel Legends HasLab logo there in the upper left, and then we have Galactus there, which looks cool. Him like reaching out, of course, some planets and stuff you can't really see, but on the side right down here, we have the different characters that come with it. So I like how it's designed almost like a comic cover, but on the side where usually we have like the artist and writer and stuff, we have Frankie Ray, Silver Surfer, and Marvel's Morgue, it says, which are all the heralds that come in this set that you can see sort of pictured throughout the box. So those are really cool. So we got 3 additional figures along with this Galactus, and it just looks super cool. So I just wanted to show you the front of the box there and how it's, like I said, designed sort of like a comic book cover. And on the back of the box, we have just like this universe sort of picture, so you can stand Galactus up in front of this, and it'll look really cool with him with all the planets and everything. And then we also have his ship there. I forget what it's called, but it's an awesome looking like ship design and stuff. It's just like this long tube sort of thing, so it kind of also goes around almost like an infinity shape. So that looks really cool as well. So again, a nice like picture thing that you can just stand Galactus up to have as a picture there for the background, which is really cool. But enough with looking at the box, let's actually bring Galactus in here. So here is Galactus out of the box, and he is humongous. Of course, I didn't get an exact measurement on him, and I don't have a tape measure or anything to measure, but he is pretty big. Now, he is bigger than the Sentinel that we got with the last HasLab, so I can bring that Sentinel in to show the comparison. So there's the size comparison you can see between the Galactus and the Sentinel. And of course, we do have the Master Mold head on the Sentinel, so it does make him a little bit taller overall, but there you can just see the size comparison. I thought Galactus would be much more taller, but like I said, we do also have the Master Mold, which is a bigger head, so that probably takes up some of the space. But I thought from pictures looking at and stuff that the Galactus was going to be much bigger, but it's cool that you can see just how big he is there. Of course, the Sentinel feels more in line with how big a Sentinel should be to the Marvel Legends figures, where Galactus obviously should be much bigger because he can devour worlds and stuff, and he's humongous. But obviously with figures, they can only go so big, but still cool just to see how big he is there, especially compared to that Sentinel. But Galactus, known as the Devourer of Worlds, was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and first appeared in the Fantastic Four number 48 back in March 1966, so he's a pretty old character. And he was a being known as Galen that existed in the pre-Big Bang universe, but was saved by bonding with the sentience of the universe and merged as Galactus as we see him here. And in this form as Galactus, he received sustenance by consuming planets, so he chose heralds to search the universe for planets to consume, with the most popular herald being Silver Surfer. And from the comics, and especially that Fantastic Four appearance, he eventually comes to Earth but is fended off by the Fantastic Four and the rebelling Silver Surfer. And in the Marvel Universe, Galactus serves as a role in upkeeping the Marvel continuity. So if anything happens or is going out of whack, they just bring Galactus in, have him devour, or have people like team up against him and kind of reset stuff from there. Now, Galactus's powers are known as the Power Cosmic, which is cosmic energy force that gives the powers of cosmic awareness, telepathy, telekinesis, energy projection, size alteration, transmutation of matter, teleportation, force field creation, interdimensional portals, and creation of life and resurrection. So he has a lot of powers. Like I said, probably one of the strongest beings in the entire universe, especially, not like a god figure. So Galactus is known as being like a big baddie in the Marvel Universe. Now, as I sort of mentioned with Silver Surfer, and from the box design, he has a lot of heralds. There's a whole long list of different characters that have been heralds. I will be showing you a couple today, and of course these did come with the herald figures, which I'll be reviewing in a separate video. I don't know which one I'm going to have up first, whether it be Galactus or the herald, but they'll be going up one after the other. So we'll have full reviews there, but I will be showing all the heralds that we have currently so far in here with Galactus today. But after going through all that, we can actually start looking at the actual Galactus figure. So we can try to do some movements on Galactus. We'll go and start with his head. So the head can move back and forth just a little bit. There's not much movement at all in the head, and there are electronics in this, so if we push a button on his head and eyes and stuff will light up. I'm not sure how it works. There, you can kind of push in, it flashes a little bit, and there's the lights on. Of course, I don't know how long these take to go off, so hopefully it's not on too long, but you can see his eyes, the little sections on his earpieces over here light up, and the lights on top of his head there, they're kind of flashing. So that all looks really cool, and we could do a lot of stuff with the head. So obviously, as I showed, it can rock up and down just a little bit and can twist side to side, so you can pretty much get it to twist wherever you want. But we can pull the head off, and it's not too hard to pop off. And as you can see, it's got this weird square peg thing, but it's on a ball joint itself, so it adds some movements. And we have the head here, and of course we can switch out the faceplate and stuff. The battery component for the head is in this, so you just pop this off and you can put put the batteries in there. But we can pop the faceplate out. So we have this little thing you can kind of push through and pull his mouth out. So we get some different mouths. So we have this one where he's got more gritted teeth, which I actually like this. I think this is like perfect where Galactus with the gritted teeth. I think that looks really cool. So that's probably what we'll keep on him. Or you get like a zombie-ish looking face. So it could be like in the zombie universe when Galactus turns into a zombie, or it could be like one of the times Galactus dies and like, you know, got his dead body and stuff. But that looks really cool as well. I think that's awesome. It'd be cool to have Galactus just with this, but since we're just going to have it serve as an actual Galactus, we're going to put one of the other faces on. But we also get this Dr. Doom style head. Now I don't know exactly what this is from. I forgot about this accessory, so didn't look up anything about it, but it looks just like a Dr. Doom head, but it goes on this Galactus. So it's got a nice purple hood design just like Dr. Doom's we've had in the past, even has like the little point there in the back, but it's got Dr. Doom's face with the face in there. So looks pretty cool, just like all the Dr. Dooms we've had before, just like a giant version. And we can put this on the head, which again, I don't know what this is from, if like this ever happened, if Galactus became a Doombot, but I think that looks really cool. You know, overall has an awesome design, but since it's not Galactus or anything, we don't want that, so we're not going to keep that, but it is a cool thing, and it slides on pretty easily, and, you know, sticks on pretty well. Like I'm pulling on, it's not coming off, but it just easily slid right on. So that's pretty cool, and I like this design, but like I said, we have no use for it. But now we can do the other movements, and this is where I have a lot of issues with Galactus, because with the old Sentinel, they had a lot of issues, and people complain about the weakness of the joints and that you tried to do stuff and he wouldn't hold, especially like the legs. And actually when I set the Sentinel up here on the table, he started falling forward, so I had to kind of brace him against the wall. But Galactus has the complete opposite problems. They put in extra ratchets and clicks and stuff like that, and now this thing is almost feels impossible to move. So we have a lot of issues with that. So we'll go ahead and do like this arm. So the arm can come out to 90. Hopefully the noise isn't too much, but it can come out about to 90 there, and we can rotate it around. It doesn't rotate too much. It just moves back and forth a little bit, but because of his like thicker plastic like chest pieces and stuff, you don't really get much movement, so it can only go back and forth a little bit there. But we also get a bicep twist on it, so it can twist back and forth, and again, you're hearing all those pops, so hopefully it's not too bad. Then we have the double elbow joint, and again, these are all going to be pops and clicks and stuff, so it can move up to about 90 there, just with the upper elbow joint, but then with the lower one, it moves about there, so you get a little bit under 90 there altogether, but still pretty good. And then we get the wrist that can twist all the way around, and it can flex back and forth, again, more of those clicks, but can flex there. And then with the hands, just like the Sentinel, we have all the flexible fingers, so each finger has some additional movements, like the thumb can even bend in a little bit, and then it's got all the different joints, so you can pose the hands around however you want. So we can kind of give you a little thumbs up there with Galactus. So just wanted to show all those different hand movements, and again, a lot of articulation, real stiff, so it's hard to do a lot of this stuff, but it is nice because, you know, you don't have to worry about falling over or anything weakness as much as we did with the Sentinel. We then have an ab crunch, so right in the middle there is a crunch. I don't know how well we'll be able to crunch this, but he does crunch forward, and of course he's got more like thicker plastic, but it's like rubbery, so it moves and stuff with his midsection, so it does allow him to crunch. It's just very hard to get to move. And actually I just realized he does have the crunch and twist like section up in here, so like we get with a lot of characters, and I hit the button, so now he's all lit up, so his chest plate is lit now and his head. But I don't know how I'm going to get this to function, but yeah, there is the ab crunch and twist up in here, so slit all the way around, which allows him to do some twisting as well, and the crunching. That was the crunching you saw, but then he also have the cutout on the side, so it allows him to crunch even more back and forth there. But again, with as big as this figure is, and I can barely get it to move at all, like I can, but it can only pop like one section, and then it kind of gets stuck there, so it's really hard to do. What's cool, they have all the function of like a normal Marvel Legends inside this figure, so I think that's cool. But now we get to the legs, and the only way I can really do this is by laying him down like this, so hopefully you're able to see it. I can get some movement, but we can go ahead and move the legs here. So the hips do move, and he has, you know, a little bit thinner, and like his skirting does move out of the way, so it will allow some movements. I don't know if we'll get too many movements, but we can move the leg up a little bit, so it can maybe come up about 45 degrees, and then we can also move out a little bit, so you can hear those poppings in there. Can get the leg out to the side there some as well, so pretty decent movements, but it's still the big hard movements. So like I said, it's got pretty decent moves, especially for a big figure. It's just hard to move a lot, and that's a lot of issues with this. We'll kind of flip him over here to do the knees. So for the knees, we have the ratcheting knees, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of indentations there, so that's where we get all the ratcheting joints. So for the knee, if we bend it up, we can get it to bend up quite a bit, and it can bend all the way up that far, so not too bad, especially compared to like a normal Marvel Legend. So pretty good movements overall in there, so that's a pretty good knee joint. Like I said, with all those clicks, we don't have to worry about it moving as much like we did with the Sentinel, so we don't have nearly that many issues. And finally, we have the foot movement, so the foot can rock back and forth. Again, has those clicks in there, so it can rock back and forth that far down, that far forward, so pretty good, and can twist side to side. Again, it's really hard, but you can get it to even twist side to side there as well. And then there's these movements here here of this little flat piece that kind of flaps down to cover up the feet there when you're standing. So really good movements overall. Like I said, it's really hard and difficult. So like getting these movements, like I said, I had to sit it down and everything to be able to even do it. But it's nice that he does have all those ratcheting, because like I said, it makes it stand up and much more sturdier compared to that Sentinel. So I don't nearly have that much issue with this Galactus. I just sort of stand him up there and he's standing. Now that we've gone through all of Galactus movements, we can show you all the different stuff he comes with him. But first I wanted to show you this other Galactus. So this is like the Marvel Universe or whatever they want to call it, Galactus figure that goes with like the 3.75 inch figures that they made years ago. And this is Galactus that we had in our collection serving as Galactus, obviously, until we got this big figure. So this was just a Galactus. It's probably like a foot tall or so. So obviously compared, I doubt you can see any of it. I have it sitting on the table and it comes up to just about his waist, or you can maybe see it there. But yeah, I just wanted to show off this Galactus, like I said, that we had in our collection until now we're going to replace it. And I can also show you the Heralds that came with this pack. So as it showed on the box and as I mentioned, so first off we get Silver Surfer. So of course the classic Herald of Silver Surfer. So we have him here with his effects and stuff. And we of course have his surfboard that allows him to fly through space and all that. But what's cool is we also get these nice little effects. So he has this nice purple effect to go with his purple cosmic effect there. But we have this purple effect that can go into Galactus's hands. So he can sit like these Heralds in his hands. So let me put this in. So there's Silver Surfer floating in his hands. So that's pretty cool. So we can have him there floating or like turned around talking to Galactus, whatever you want. But I think it's pretty cool having this Silver Surfer with that effect piece. It doesn't work the best because the Silver Surfer barely stays on the surfboard, so he keeps falling off. But it's cool to get this effect piece, and then figuring out how to get these in their hands was quite difficult. I don't know if you can really see it too well, so if you have this Galactus and are trying to figure out how to get it, just maybe see if you can look in here and figure out how I have it positioned, and then you can do the same thing yourself, because I know we had to watch a bunch of videos just to figure out how to get these in his hands, because it doesn't come with any instructions, so we had no clue how to do it, but we finally figured it out. So now we have Silver Surfer in his hand, and we can also do it with the other Herald he comes with, Frankie Ray as Nova. So this is pretty cool. So we have this. Of course, we'll be reviewing all these figures in another video. Nice flaming hair and the flame effect that goes into his hand. Now this goes onto his left hand, so we can go and put this in there. So there's the Nova in that hand. And of course, it's making him start to fall forward with all these things, but thankfully because of his legs and stuff, he doesn't fall forward. It's just I'm more worried about these actually just falling out of his hands. Now her effect doesn't work as well because it's supposed to have a peg, but the peg is just a barely any little nub. So her foot keeps falling forward. The leg that's like down, the straight leg there, is what it pegs into, and like I said, it keeps falling forward, so I'm having to like try to get her in perfect position. But it doesn't clamp the best on his hand. Just the design, like for neither of these, don't really clamp on the best, but they do. And of course just hold him up here. But I think they look really cool that he's able to actually like to hold these things in his hand so you can see them there. And of course the third Herald he comes with is Morg, which is an awesome looking guy, all red and like rockish and stuff, and comes with this big axe, and I think he looks pretty awesome as well. Of course don't really have anywhere to sit him. He doesn't come with any sort of stands or anything, so you just have to kind of put him at his feet. But I think it looks pretty cool of Galactus with his three Heralds there. And with that, we can add some other Heralds of Galactus down here at his feet. So of course we have that Morg. So we also have Terrax, the cosmic version of Ghost Rider, and the Herald version of Thor that we got in the more recent Marvel Legends set. So those are just some of the Heralds that we have to go along. And of course we do have some other Heralds that are be coming up soon. And like we get a 2-pack, and we have Fire Lord and stuff all coming. So those can all go together here with Galactus as well. So this be a nice awesome display with Galactus and have all his Heralds around him, because I think that would all be really cool. But that is going to be it for our Marvel Legends Galactus. Like I said, I will be having a review of the Heralds themselves up, so you can watch out for that video. But I think overall it's pretty cool. It's a big awesome figure. Like I said, I have a lot of issues with him just because of doing the posing and stuff, like you saw, really hard and difficult. And like I said, and then also filming this video was quite difficult. Hopefully everything turned out pretty well. Like I said, I had to mess with some of the lighting and stuff that I eventually figured out, so hopefully it looks better now than it did before. But yeah, just a lot of issues like behind the camera stuff. Trying to get this video done was quite difficult, but I think overall he looks pretty cool, and the size and everything just makes him ginormous. Like I said, if you compare him to normal Marvel Legends size figures, they're just how big he is. And I like the effects with these two Heralds and stuff that can go into his hand. Just wish they were a little bit better so they wouldn't fall as much, but still pretty cool looking overall for Galactus, and I can't really complain too much about this figure. But let me know your opinions of Galactus down in the comments, and did you get this figure for yourself? Let me know if you backed the HasLab. But if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a thumbs up. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.